All right, this is the ISUPK Wednesday law class. We're going to do it like we do every week. And we have classes here weekly in Birmingham, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. till 9. You can catch them in person. You can come to the building, 394 Lodge Road, B18, 5PW. That's the address. Also, we have classes Tuesday. These ones are online, Tuesday and Friday. So in the UK, we have a busy schedule, man. We also have the radio show on Friday on the ends. So check out all of those, man. Check out the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter. Also, Commanding General Johanna does a show Monday, 2 a.m. UK time, and also Saturday, 2 a.m. UK time. So check out those, man. Those shows, you get the breakdown on all the latest topics and all the stuff that the rest of the world is afraid of. Those things get broken down in depth. Also, here you can ask your questions in the class. You can get your breakdowns in the class. We also have scripture breakdown class tomorrow. You can ask your questions, whether on topic, off topic, and so forth. So today we're going to go into Joseph being enslaved, Joseph being sold into slavery in Egypt, and then how eventually his brothers needed him, man. And the lesson we should get from this is you might ill-treat a brother today, but in the future you might need that same brother, man. You might need that same brother that you ill-treat, man. And these brothers ill-treated Joseph, and they for sure needed him in the future. And they were sorry about what they had done, man. And that's how we should be. We should understand how we treat our brothers is wrong, and we might just need them in the future. So let's start off with the book of Genesis, chapter 37, verse 1. Damn, this page is stuck doing it too. Well done. All right, so we're going to go to the book of Genesis, chapter 37 and verse 1. So let's go to Genesis 37 and 1. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger in the land of Canaan, meaning what? The Canaanites was there, and when he was there, was a stranger. Why? Because he's not of those people, man. Isaac went of those people. Abraham went of those people. So once you go amongst another race of people, we strangers to them, man. What we do to them is strange. What they do to us is strange, and that's how it's supposed to be. Every nation is supposed to be strange to us, and we should be strange to every other nation, man. Our custom should be strange to them, and their custom should be strange to us, meaning we don't cross over and do what they do, man. So it becomes like, okay, it's not strange no more, it's normal. What's happened is, in England, these other nations' customs have become normal to us. Christmas wasn't supposed to become normal to us, man. Easter wasn't supposed to become normal to us. Birthdays wasn't supposed to be normal to us. Now all these things have become the norm to us when they ain't supposed to be. Hold on one second. So Genesis chapter 37 and verse 1. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. So Jacob had multiple wives. So Jacob had some sons with this sister, some sons with this sister. That's what that's talking about, man. So some of these sons had different mothers, but they all had the same father. Why? Because of multiple wives, which is lawful. Jacob done it. They all done it, man. David done it. Gideon done it. All throughout the Bible, you find multiple wives. Nowadays, it's frowned upon. Why? Because we're living under another nation who is a nation who likes to be homosexuals. So they would just have a wife to reproduce with, because they know two men can't reproduce. So what they would do is have what? A ton of men in the dark and have one wife in the light. So when people say, "Oh, you got a wife," they can show this woman and say, "This is my wife," when really they had a ton of men, and it's documented that with colonialism, when the British Empire went to certain lands, they was interested in the boys. Now, when the British Empire went to India, they was having sex with the little boys, and they documented themselves, and it's documented in history that they liked the boys between 10 years old and 14 years old. So that was their preference. They liked them between 10 and 14. And that's why when they went to India, they was raping all them boys there, man. Because that's what they was into. So they brought all of their disgusting acts and tried to make them normal to us when this ain't normal, man. This ain't normal. So let's read on. Now, his father's wives and Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. So now, Joseph brought unto his father his brother's evil report, meaning today you would call it what? A telltale or a snitch or whatever. But whatever they was doing wrong, Joseph was reporting it, man. Joseph was reporting it to his father. So you see today how you call someone their teacher's pet and so forth. That's what they was looking at Joseph as, because he would always come up with the report of what they're doing. He would go report it back to his father. So what happened? The brothers end up falling out with him, man. They end up not liking him. They end up being distant from him and not liking him and thinking, we need to get rid of him, man. He's our father's favorite child. That leaves no room for us. So let's read on. It says, now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children. So now, Joseph was his favorite child, man. Now, if you have a favorite child, do you have to tell your child you have a favorite? No, you don't, man. Like, you don't want to say to your child, this one's my favorite. Why? Because then that child might feel a certain type of way that my parents don't love me because they have a favorite child and it's not me. So you kind of want to, you don't want to out there and outright say, this is my favorite child, because then the other ones is going to feel a certain type of way. So you want to be mindful if that's what you're doing or if that's what you plan to do. And you might have a favorite child and it might change based on what they do, man. Based on how much this child is like you, based on how much this child obeys your voice. So if this child obeys you every word, of course this child is going to be your favorite. Now, if you've got a child which is on drugs and doesn't do whatever you say and steals from you and robs from you, of course that child isn't going to be your favorite, man. So your people's favorite children changes all the time based on what the child does, based on how the child behaves. It varies, it changes all the time. So it says, now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. So now Jacob made Joseph a coat of many colors. That's where they have them Christian songs from, a coat of many colors or whatever. So he made Joseph a coat with many different colors, like a nice coat, man. Back then, obviously, there was no shop where you would just go buy your designers or whatever. He put effort into it and thought into it and made his son a coat. So it says, now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. It says, and when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him. So this is why you want to be careful, because why? This might make siblings fall out. This might make them say, well, anything I do doesn't please my father, it doesn't please my mother, so I'm just going to do whatever I want. I'm going to do everything wrong because they hate me anyway. So now they hated Joseph. Why? Because he was Jacob's favorite child. So they hated him for that reason, man. And that's not a valid reason to hate your brother, man. You don't hate your brother because what? He's your father's favorite child. You find out what Joseph's doing right, man, and then you do the same thing. Whatever Joseph's doing must be right. So you do the right thing also. And their father loved him more than all his brethren. They hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. So now they couldn't speak peaceably unto Joseph, meaning they're argumentative, looking for issues, kind of how we are with each other today. We don't speak peaceably unto each other. If we don't like someone, we look for issues, man. We wait for you to say the wrong thing. We say things to try and wind you up. Why? Because we want a reaction out of you, man. And we don't like you. And we want to let it known, man. We want to let it known that we don't like you. And that's what they was doing. This is why they couldn't speak peaceably unto him. Let's read on. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. So if you know anything about Joseph, this brother would have dreams and could break down dreams and decipher dreams. So he had a gift. So they hated him more. Whereas if someone's got a gift, that's good, man. You big them up, man. Every brother's got a different gift, and this was Joseph's gift, and they hated Joseph the more, man, because of his gift and because he kept going on about his dreams and whatnot. The thing is, this, man, we shouldn't hate each other based on the gifts that we've been given. Why? Because all our gifts go hand in hand. One brother's good with the breakdowns. One brother's good with the history. One brother's good with the camp speaking. One brother's good with keeping everybody in order. All our gifts do what? Work together, man. Once we come together as one, your gift is my gift and my gift is your gift, man. Why? Because we're one body. But they wasn't looking at it like that. They was looking at it like, oh, Joseph, here he goes again. So you don't want to hate on your brother's gift, man. Let's read on. And Joseph dreamed a dream and he told his brethren and they hated him yet the more. So we ain't supposed to hate on each other's gifts. One brother's good at one thing. Another brother's good at something else. Now, something that I ain't good at, another brother might be excellent at. So it would make sense that whatever the brother's excellent at, he takes the office and he takes care of that. That's how it goes, man. We ain't supposed to hate on one another's gifts. All our gifts in here come together with one body, and this is how we become a functioning nation, by putting all our gifts together, by putting all our skills together. That's the things that we're supposed to do, man. So yeah, that's what we're supposed to do. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaf stood round about and made obeisance to my sheaf. So now obeisance is what? To bow down and show respect. So he had a dream about sheaves. And in their mind, they're saying, oh, so what? Joseph's saying we're going to worship him. Joseph's saying he's better than us. He's already our father's favorite child. He's already got this colorful coat that we ain't getting. He's already telling us about all these dreams. And now in this latest dream he's telling us about now, he's basically telling us he's above us. He's better than us. So they didn't want to hear this dream, man. So it says, for behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright, and behold, your sheaf stood round about and made obeisance to my sheaf. Meaning obeisance is what? To bow down, to reverence, to show respect. It's just an old English word for saying that. It says, and his brethren said to him, shalt thou indeed reign over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? So they understood what that meant, that they had a sheaf, he had a sheaf. Theirs bowed down, and his one stood upright, meaning his one was above theirs. So now they're asking him, okay then, so are you going to reign over us? Are you going to have dominion over us? Hold on, give me 1 second, Ira. Let me just turn the Salaki, let me just turn the speaker on. Give me a second. Let me see if I can hear you. Salaki, say something, Ira. Let me see if I can hear you.
Shalom, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. All right, most of Christ. So now, so they was like, are you going to reign over us? Are you going to have dominion over us? Where was I? Verse 6. No, it's verse 7. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaf stood round about and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, shalt thou indeed reign over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams. So they hated Joseph. So I can say that again, Ira.
Where are we reading?
Genesis chapter 37 and verse 8. So they hated the brother. Why? Because of his dreams, man. Because of his gift. This was the gift the Lord gave him, and they're mad at him because his dreams. But the thing is, this don't be mad at him for his dreams, because what his dreams is true, man. The Lord gave him that gift of him being able to decipher dreams, so it can help you in the future, man. So these dreams can help you, so he can let you know your condition and so forth. So he can let you know what's about to happen. You can't be mad at him because he's got a gift, and we all got gifts, man. You can't be mad at a brother having a dream and his dream turns out true. You shouldn't be mad about that, but they was all mad and didn't like him anyway. So when you don't like someone, anything they do annoys you. When you hate someone, anything they do annoys you. Anything. The way they walk annoys you. The way they talk annoys you. Why? Because you've already got some hatred in your heart for them, man. So they can't do nothing right. There's nothing they can do right, man. They can't avoid this collision course with you. Why? Because you're just a horrible person that hates them for no reason. And by you hating them, you're doing what? You're letting Satan get in your mind, man. Satan's in your mind, and Satan's got you hating your brother, man. Half the time, your brother's not even aware you've got an issue with him, and you've got this secret issue in your head. I can't stand him. I hate him. He's this, he's that. And half the time, the brother just shows you love when he sees you, man. The sister shows you love when they see you. They ain't got no issue with you. They're not even aware that you have an issue with them, but you're too weak to say anything. So what do? Sit down at home with Satan at night. You and Satan sit down at home at night and think how you can destroy this brother or this sister's life, man. You sit at home and be like, I can't stand this person. I hate this person. I want to see this person fall. You and Satan sitting down. Satan's in your mind, and you're both sitting down plotting on how much you hate your brother and your sister, man. Whereas in here, there's ways to deal with that. You don't like a brother or sister, and there's a reason why you don't like them. You can go to counsel, man. You can go to counsel and see how it goes, but you can't be hating someone for no reason. If someone ain't done nothing to you. Now, all right, we all come from different walks of life. You might find someone annoying. That's not enough to dislike someone. That might just be their personality. Listen, some people find me annoying, man. So lucky it's just my personality, man. You can't hate me for it. It's just, it's just who I am. All it means is obviously just don't be around me that often if I annoy you that much. But you don't have to hate me and go and plot and have sleepless nights and sit down with Satan about how much you can't stand me and you hate me and let Satan jump in your mind and all of those things. Read on from the IRA.
Canada answer. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 37 and verse 8. And his brethren say to him, shall thou indeed reign over us? Or shall thou indeed have dominion over us?
Go ahead.
And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words.
They hated him for his dreams and for his words. In their mind, it's like, we hate this nigga, and we ain't having him rule over us, man. And that's how you would be if you're in here and you hate your brother, and your brother gets a rank raise over you. You're gonna hate him, man, because you're gonna be like, I don't want him to rule over me. I hate him, man. He can't be over me. We ain't supposed to have that in here, man. If a brother's over you, it's of the Lord, man. Don't hate that brother because he done the right things and got a rank raise, because he got raised up, and you feel in your mind that you should be raised over him. You feel in your mind that you shouldn't show this brother no respect. You feel in your mind that you're the better man for the job. If you was the better man for the job, you would have had that position, man. It shows you ain't the better man for the job. So if a man gets rank over you, you can't hate him, man. Why? Because of his rank raise and his work and whatnot. You can't hate him for that, man, because it's of the Lord. Read on.
And he dreamed yet another dream, and told his brethren, and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream. I have a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made up obeisance to me. Obeisance to me.
So now it goes the 11 stars, which what? This is the other tribes of Israel. So basically, it's telling the dream in another way. First, it was chiefs. Now it's the 11 stars. Go ahead.
And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed?
And his father corrected him and said, what is this dream you're having? Because sometimes people come to you with a dream And you'd be like, nah, that dream don't sound right. That dream don't sound right. So his father rebuked him, like, yo, what's this dream you're having? Sometimes children will come to you and say, I had a dream that this happened. And you have to rebuke them, like, yo, don't tell me that nonsense. That dream's nonsense. It don't mean nothing. But not all dreams mean stuff. Some dreams mean stuff. Some dreams don't. Some people are just, just dreaming. That's all you are, having a dream. And that's the end of it. It don't mean nothing. The Bible calls it an unclean dream. Some people have unclean dreams that they think is real. And then they believe in their dream. They became a general overnight. So they believe I should be leading Israel. They believe I should be leading Israel because in my dream, I was a general and I was over you in my dream. So I should be over you in real life. No, man, your dream is just not real life, man. Real life is you woke up and you're under the brother that you're under, man. That's real life. Real life is what you're living right now, not what you see when you close your eyes. Now, some dreams can mean something. Some dreams don't mean nothing at all. Go ahead.
Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? And his brethren envied him. But his father observed the saying.
Go ahead.
And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem.
Go ahead.
Shechem. And Israel say unto Joseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem?
So now these brothers went out, obviously left Joseph behind. Why? Because they don't like him. So the father's saying, yo, didn't your brothers go out to feed the flock? Go and join them. Because that's what you do as a father. You want your kids to grow up together. You want your kids to grow tight. You don't want your kids to, these lot are all tight, but they're not tight with this one. You want them to move as a unit. So Jacob's sending Joseph out there to go meet his brothers in Shechem. Go ahead.
And I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, here I am.
Go ahead.
And he said to him, go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flock.
Go ahead.
And bring me word again.
Go ahead.
So he sent him out of the valley of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field.
Now he's wandering in the field. Why? Because his brothers left him. So now he's seeking his brothers. He's looking for them. He was wandering in the field, looking lost. So someone's basically come up to him and said, yo, what are you seeking? Like, what are you looking for? Go ahead. Usually when that happens to us today, it's the police that come up and ask us, so what are you doing around here? Why are you around here? What are you looking for? Someone came to him in the field. Because Joseph was a black man, they probably thought he looked suspicious, man. Same like they always think we look suspicious. Ain't no difference. Read on.
And the man asked him, saying, what seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed the flock. And the man said, they are departed hence. For I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan.
So he found them.
When they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him.
So now all that hatred that built up, man, that hatred over the years, Joseph done nothing wrong, man. They hated him. Why? Because he was his father's favorite child. Because he had dreams. They hated him, man. And before he came close, they conspired to slay him, man. That's how black people are today. We go out with these knives on our waist and we conspire to kill our brothers, man. We go out in the car with four guns and we conspire to slay our brothers, man. Why? Because we're full of hatred towards one another, man. We hate our brothers when we're supposed to love our brothers. So imagine Joseph's innocent minding his business, just going to meet his brothers, man. Because why? We called brothers for a reason, meaning we're supposed to be together. We're supposed to love one another. In Joseph's mind, it's like, you know what? We're brothers and we're supposed to love one another. Not realizing what? Someone's secretly seeking to slay you, man. In here, we're supposed to love one another. Like in here, we ain't supposed to have one group versus another group. These brothers don't mix with these brothers. These sisters don't mix with these sisters. Because what will happen is one day you're gonna conspire to slay your brother, man. Or one day you're gonna hate them so bad. This hate is gonna what? This hate is gonna increase. Now, like you're probably thinking, oh, murder's a bit dramatic, but in the beginning, that's not on your mind. But as that hate grows and that hate grows and that hate grows, you just want to get rid of your brother or sister, man. And that's what they did. They conspired to get rid of Joseph. So they conspired to slay him. Hold that there because we're going to come back to it. Give me Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 16.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people.
Don't go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. And when you go up and down as a talebearer among your people, you make one brother hate another brother. Because you go up telling tales, you speak about how much you don't like this brother. And then the demon on you then jumps on him. And then before you know it, your issue with the brother becomes his issue. He then has an issue with the brother. Why? Based off what you've said. So you don't want to go up and down telling tales and all of those kind of things. Read on.
Neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor.
Meaning what?
I am the Lord.
Read on. Which verse you at?
I'm at verse, I just finished verse 16, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Yeah, that's the part I wanted. It says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Why? Because what you read with the story of Joseph and his brothers, they hated him, man. They hated him. In their mind, they hated him. And in their mind, the more hate they had towards him, they now at the stage where they conspired to slay him, man. They was going to kill their brother. Why? Because they didn't deal with them issues. They didn't deal with what's making them hate their brother. They didn't sit down with their father and say, yo, we feel a certain type of way. They kept it to themselves and hated Joseph. And Joseph wasn't even aware that they hated him like that, man. So he's gone out to meet. Now, obviously, would have been aware that they dislike him, but in his mind, it's like, yo, these are my brothers, so I don't need to worry about them killing me. They just dislike me, and we're going to sort it out. That's how we're supposed to be as a nation. We're brothers. We might not be seeing eye to eye right now, but we're going to sort it out because we're brothers, and that's what brothers do. They sort things out. So that's how we should see it. But nowadays, we've become separated from one another, and we no longer see each other as brothers and sisters. So we kill each other now. Any issues now we have, I have to stab you to death based off these issues that we have because we hate one another now when really we're supposed to love one another. And that's why we have these records, man, because these records will teach us how to love one another. Take me back to Genesis chapter 37.
I was at verse 19.
Yeah, go ahead.
And they say one to other, behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now.
This dreamer cometh. They didn't even call him by his name. They're mocking him now. They said one to another, this dreamer cometh. So brotherhood is what? One of them should have stood up and said, you know what? We're not going to do that. We're going to speak like brothers and sort out this issue. We're going to speak like brothers and sort out this issue. But they're all feeding into it, man. They're all as bad as each other. except I believe Judah, but we're going to read on that bit. So now they're all
Yeah.
feeding into it. So I can
Salaki,
say that
Salaki.
again, Ira.
You say you thought was Judah, but I think was Reuben, the firstborn.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I believe it was Reuben. It was Reuben. So now they're all feeding into it. In their mind, they're saying, you know what? Let's slay him. This dreamer comes. Whereas if some of them brothers was doing the right thing there, they said, no, we're not going to do this. He's our brother. We're going to sit down and sort the issue. But what happens is what? Once you pass your hatred onto someone else and they accept it, and if you speak bad about a brother to someone else and they don't like the brother also, that spirit then spreads. That spirit spreads like a cancer, man. So what they're doing right here, it spread from one brother to the next, to the next, to the next. It started off with, don't you think Joseph's annoying? Someone said, yes, he's annoying. Then it spread to someone else, oh, I can't stand him. Someone else said, I can't stand him either. So now it spreads like a cancer. What you're thinking and what you're feeling, our brother might not be thinking that. But once you tell him, then he's thinking, you know what? You're right. So it spreads like a cancer, man. And then it becomes a problem. And then before you know it, all these brothers is against Joseph now. All these brothers want to kill Joseph now. Why? Based on one man running his mouth and another brother not checking him and saying, yo, you're not going to do that, man. He's our brother. Based on another brother not saying, yo, nip that in the bud, man. That's Satan in your head making you do all that. They just went with it and it spreaded like a cancer. Read on.
Verse 20. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him,
Now they
and
said,
cast
come now,
him.
therefore, and let us slay him. They was going to kill their brother, man. Bearing in mind, Joseph ain't done nothing wrong. They just find him highly annoying and they hate him. Why? Because their father loved him and because he had a gift. So they hated him for that reason. They said, come now, therefore, let us slay our brethren, man. Listen, man. Meaning the brother that said it, they all coming together now, yo. They've all conspired together, meaning they've sat down and thought about it and said, yo, let us do this. And it's our job to say, nah, we ain't going to do that, man. It's our job to say, nah, our nation don't operate like that. It's our job to say, we all brothers and we're not going to kill a brother, man. Why do you want to harm this brother? Oh, because he has dreams and he's your father's favorite son. That's emotional, man. That's being weak and emotional. And we ain't supposed to be weak and emotional, man. You can't be crying over those things because you think a brother's got a better gift than you have. You can't hate your brother over those things, man. That's weak and emotional. And one of them brothers should have checked the other brother and said, yo, that's weak and emotional, man. We ain't going to do that. But obviously, they didn't do that. Read on.
And we will say, some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his
So now,
dreams.
they said, we're going to slay him. We're going to put him in a pit and say some beast has devoured him. So they would have said whatever animal was around at the time, like a lion or a bear or whatever, would have devoured him. Really, it was them who would have killed him. But they was going to say some beast or whatever would have devoured him. That's what they would have said. Because back then, this is a time before they had forensics, before they had all these ballistic tests. But guess what they did have, man? The Lord, man. The Lord would have revealed that they killed him, man. If they did it, we don't need no forensics and no DNA. The Lord reveals all, man. The Lord would have revealed that they killed him, man. You don't need to go to some oppressor for him to get his forensic tent out and all of those things. The Lord would have revealed it, man, by jamming them up and messing their whole life up, man. Read on.
And we shall see, verse 21. And Reuben heareth, and he deliver him unto their hand, and say, let us not kill him. And Reuben say unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into the pit.
So now,
That
Reuben was the only wise one at the time, man. Reuben said, don't kill him, man. That's one thing, man. Reuben said, don't kill him, because their plan was to kill him. And Reuben said, don't kill him, but cast him into this pit. Which obviously they shouldn't have done anyway, but that's better. At least he's alive. at least is alive. You'd rather be cast into some pit than be slayed. But read on.
And lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands,
So now Reuben
to
was smart.
deliver him to his father again.
Reuben was like, don't slay him, just throw him into the pit. And then afterwards, what would have happened? He would have got Joseph out of this pit and delivered him back to his father again, man. So Reuben was the only one that showed brotherhood, man. He went against his brother's decisions. His brother's decisions was, we're going to slay him. And Reuben said, shed no blood, man. Because he understood it's wrong to murder your brother. He understood, don't kill your brother, man. He understood that. So he said, shed no blood. So now, because he was, overmatched and outnumbered, he tried to put forth a tactic. Okay, just throw him into the pit. And he knows, all right, later on, we'll deliver him back to our father again, man. So he tried to do it that way. Read on.
Verse 23. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat.
Go ahead.
His coat of many colored.
And that was jealous, man. And the jealous man stripped him out of his coat. Why? His father gave him that coat and made it for him. And this is what we do to each other today, man. We kill each other over a Gucci pouch. We kill each other over a pair of trainers. We kill each other over clothes and so forth, man. They stripped Joseph out of his colorful coat, man, because they was jealous that his father gave him that coat, man. And these days we be jealous of a brother because he's got a Gucci pouch, man. We ain't changed much, man. We ain't changed much from the book of Genesis till now. The only place you change is in the ISUPK, man. Outside of here, nobody changes. That's why they will kill you over a Gucci hat. They'll kill you over a Gucci pouch. They'll kill you over a mobile phone. All of those things, man. Read on.
Verse 24. And they took him and cast him into a pit. And the pit was empty. There was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread. And they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Galilee with their camels, bearing spice and balm and myrrh. Yeah. Going to carry it down to Egypt.
And they had all these things to carry it down to Egypt. Why? For trade. So we was trading back then. That's how people used to trade. They would load up their camels with stuff and go and trade. So as the trading underway, they've seen Joseph in the pit. Go ahead.
Verse 26.
They said, you know what? Let's sell him. Go ahead.
And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brethren?
So yeah, even Judah was wise as well. Judah said, what profit is it if we slay our brother? Because he knew there's no profit in killing a black man. He knew there's no profit in killing a black and Hispanic man. What do you get from killing your brother, man? He understood there's no profit in it. So now Judah saying, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Read on.
Verse 27. Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites and our flesh.
It says, come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites and let not our hand be upon him, for he's our brother and our flesh. Meaning he understood. Judah understood. Don't kill him because he's our brother, man. Judah understood this man's our blood and our flesh. And there should be no black on black crime, man. There should be no black men killing black men. Should be no black women killing black women. Judah understood that. Judah said, look, let's not kill him because he's our flesh and our blood. That's what we need to realize, man. Every black man and black woman that we see, that's our flesh and our blood. That's what we need to see. They're our flesh and they're our blood. And we're the same people and we're the same person. That's what we're supposed to see. But instead, what do? We kill one another, man. Because why? We forgot that we're the same flesh and we're the same blood. Now we've become just nothing to each other. We used to be brothers and sisters, man. Once upon a time, we acknowledged that we was brothers and sisters, man. And now we're just nothing to one another. We're nothing no more. When we understood we're brothers and sisters, we can't treat each other in a certain way. Why? Because we're the same flesh and the same blood. But all of these things have been lost. All of this love that we had for each other, it's been lost. So now we hate one another. Now we can't stand one another. Now I'm saying we're not gonna have disagreements. Of course we're gonna have disagreements. But the thing is this: you see how if you have a disagreement with your brother or sister, like where you come from the same father or mother, and you know you're gonna make up because you're brother and sister, you should look at every black man and black woman that way, man. That we all brother and sister, and we all should make up because we're the same flesh and we're the same blood. And these is our forefathers right here, man. Read on.
And his brethren were content.
Go
Verse
ahead.
28.
And
Then there passed
they
by.
were content. There was like, okay, then cool. Let's give him over to these Ishmaelites. Listen, man. These Arabs been trying to enslave niggas from the beginning, man. These Ishmaelites been trying to enslave us from the beginning. All these nations been trying to enslave us. There ain't a nation that ain't had a hand in our captivity, or if they haven't, they benefited from it some way or somehow. They all benefit from our slavery, man. They all benefit from our struggle. Every nation does. Read on.
Then there passed by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit,
Go ahead.
and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver.
So now they sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, man. They sold their brother, man. Go ahead.
And they brought Joseph into Egypt.
So now the
Verse
Ishmaelites brought Joseph
29.
into Egypt. So that's how Joseph ended up in Egypt. He was in the pit. He was sold to the Ishmaelites. The Ishmaelites brought him into Egypt. Give me 1 second. Go ahead, Ira.
Another one comes, sir. Verse 29. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit.
And now
he went.
To the pit. He returned to the pit, and Joseph wasn't in the pit, man. Because why? Reuben thought, I'm going to leave him there, and then I'm going to come back later and deliver Joseph back to my father. He came back to the pit. He wasn't in there. Go ahead.
And he ran unto his brethren and said, the child is not, and I rather shall I go.
Go ahead.
And they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in the blood.
So now they're trying to cover it up. They've dipped the coat in the blood. Go ahead. So they could go back to their father and say, a beast slayed him. Because they didn't know Reuben didn't know what happened to him. Go ahead.
And they sent the coat of many colors. They sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, this have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no.
And they knew it was Joseph's coat, but now they're trying to cover their tracks. Do you know, is this his son's coat or no? And obviously Jacob would have known why, because Jacob made that coat himself. He made that coat of many colors for his favorite child, Joseph. So he would know that coat. Imagine you see a coat come back with blood. Remember, this is a time before you could do forensics and see whose blood's on the coat and whatnot. This is ancient times. All this forensic stuff is late 1900s and some early 2000s. So all this forensic stuff is new. Go ahead. verse 32, 33 actually.
33. Cancel. Thank you for that, sir.
Oh, so-
And he knew it and said, "It is my son's coat. An evil beast had devoured him. Joseph is without rent in pieces."
So he said, damn, Joseph is ripped in pieces. If the coat's like this and all this blood's on there, that means the evil beast has devoured him and Joseph's ripped in pieces. Go ahead.
And Jacob rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his loins.
Sackcloth is what? It shows a sign of mourning. So back then you would take off your nice garments and you'd put on sackcloth and people would see, nah, I'm 12. So people would see, wow, this man's going through something. He's got on the sackcloth. He's going through some type of mourning. So that's why they would put on sackcloth. Go ahead.
Upon his loin, and mourn for his son many days.
And listen, man, when you kill a black man, man, you cause their parents to mourn for them many days, man. You cause their parents to mourn for them and cry for them and break down and be depressed and can't get out of bed in the morning and can't eat and can't sleep. Why? Because you hated a brother over nothing, man. Because you're weak and emotional, you had to kill a black man. And look at all the hurt you caused their family. Jacob went through that hurt, man, because he thought his son got rent in peace by a beast. And now imagine, look how much of our parents have had to go through this, mourning for their child many days, man. Your child ain't supposed to die before you, man. Imagine that. One day you send your child out to the field and he doesn't come back, man. Why? Because his brothers is weak and emotional and they hate him and want to kill him over nothing, man. This is our life. We all brothers, and some of us have been taught to be weak and emotional and kill a black man over nothing. We harm each other over nothing. Why? Because we're weak and emotional. And all we can do is pick up weapons. When you do that, man, you cause someone's parents to mourn for many days, man. You cause someone's parents to not be able to get out of bed. You cause someone's parents to not be able to eat, man. If you love your brother like yourself, you wouldn't want your parents to go through that. So we shouldn't put other people's parents through that, man. Whereas most of these situations could be talked out. Most of these situations could be dealt with in council. But we don't want to do that. We have to slay one another, man. And then when you kill someone, you don't just kill them. You kill their children. You kill their parents. You kill their family. Because a part of them dies with that person, man. You've took away their loved one, man. And a part of them dies with that loved one. And some people never get over it, man. Some parents end up dying of a broken heart, dying from other illnesses that they wouldn't have had. They're not eating, so they ain't getting no nutrition. So they end up starving themselves to death, man. Why? Because they can't eat because of what you put them through. Because you were so emotional and had to go kill your brother over nothing. The situation is bigger than your feelings, man. Read on.
Verse 35. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him.
And listen, man, all his sons and his daughters rose up to comfort him. Because why? This man's in mourning, man. He lost his child and he's crying, man. This man's in mourning. He's upset, he's hurt. He's thinking of all the good times. He's thinking, yo, I just had my son yesterday and now he's not here no more, man. His sons and his daughters rose up to comfort him, man. At times, you're going to have to comfort your parents, man. At times, you're going to have to comfort your parents when they're going through stuff. At times, you might be a parent where your children have to comfort you, man. Read on.
And mourn for his, but he refused to be comfort.
And he refused to be comforted, man. Because he's mourning, man. He's mourning. And he refused to be comforted. Why? Because that comfort ain't going to bring his son back, man. He thinks his son's dead at this moment. All of that they give, all of these, sorry for your condolences. Jacob don't want to hear that, man. He refused to be comforted. He don't want to hear, sorry for your loss. My condolences. He don't want to hear it, man. He refused to be comforted. Why? Because his hurt, based off what he's going through. Go ahead.
And he said, for I will go down into the grave unto my son's mourning.
And he said, I'm gonna mourn until I die. I'm gonna go down to the grave mourning, man. Meaning, till the day I die, I'm gonna be mourning, man. All of this mourning is gonna be the death of me, man. Go ahead.
Thus his father wept for him.
And listen, man. This is how fathers cry for their sons when what? Their sons die an untimely death. When their sons die in a way they're not supposed to die, man. This is the kind of weeping that you do. Now, when someone grows to a nice old age and they die nicely in their bed, at least you have some comfort while they went peacefully, while they went and there was in no pain. Imagine knowing your son's last thoughts is in Jacob's mind, his son got torn in pieces by a beast. So imagine knowing your son screaming for his life and there's no one there to help him. That right there would play with your mind, man. What was his last thoughts? What was he thinking? How was his screams? What was the last thing on his mind? That would play on your mind, man. But when someone dies peacefully in their bed at a nice old age, you have comfort knowing, you know what? While this man lived a long life, and eventually you get old and we have to pass away. But when someone dies young, them ages, Joseph was about 17 at that time. Yeah, he was 17 at that time. So when someone dies at a young age like that, you're going to mourn for them, man. Read on.
And the Midianites sold him into Egypt
So now
unto Potiphar.
The Ishmaelites brought him and sold him into Egypt. The Ishmaelites brought him for 20 pieces of silver, and then they sold him in Egypt. And that's what these nations do, man. They use us. They make merchandise of us, man. They buy us and get a bargain, man. They get us and then get bargains. Imagine the Ishmaelites brought him for a bargain and sold him down into Egypt, man. Whereas we should be like, nah, we ain't selling our brother, man. Go buy some Arab. We should listen, why don't you go buy Arab and sell an Arab to the Egyptians, man? But because of our lack of brotherhood, we sold our brother, man. Till this day, because of our lack of brotherhood, we harm each other and look out for everybody else. Because of our lack of brotherhood. If we had brotherhood, we wouldn't treat each other the way we treat each other. Give me Genesis chapter 42 and verse 1.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 42 and verse 1.
Now, this is the part where there was a famine in the land and they had to go to Egypt to go and get corn and get stuff. Why? Because their land weren't producing nothing. So sometimes you have to go to somewhere else where they have the resources. But at this time, Joseph is what? Is basically running Egypt, man. But they don't know. Times passed on and they forgot about him and whatnot. Meaning what? How they treated their brother. They probably forgot how bad they treated him, man. Because times passed on. Who would have thought they would need their brother in the future? Who would have thought they would need Joseph, man? Who would have thought they would need this annoying boy that's the dreamer of dreams? Don't take advantage of your brothers, man. Because you never know when you need your brother, man. We always need our brothers. Read on.
Now, when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, why do ye look one upon another?
So I said, why do you
And
look
he
upon
said,
another, man?
behold,
I've heard there's corn in Egypt, man. Go get some of that corn, man, so we can eat, so we can feed our cattle, so we can live. Go ahead.
and he said, behold, I have here that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down, thither,
Fever.
and buy for us from thence, that we might live and not die.
Now, they needed to go to Egypt to buy corn so they can live and not die. Why? Because you need food to survive, man. There was no food. So they had to take their money and go down to Egypt to buy food so that they can live. Go ahead.
And Joseph then And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren. For he
So now,
said,
it didn't send. It didn't send Benjamin, man. And like Tazarpon said, a good point, man. Tazarpon said, Canada one and Salakia. Jacob was the one that told him to go feed the flocks with his brothers, so he would have been blaming himself, which is true, man. Because in your mind, it would be like, if I didn't send him, that wouldn't have happened. So listen, man. Jacob said, I ain't sending Benjamin, man. He kept Benjamin back from going to Egypt. Because last time he sent Joseph with his brethren, Joseph didn't end up coming back. So now he's kept Benjamin back, man. Use like go and keep Benjamin with me, man. Because and Joseph and Benjamin had the same mom. So them two had the same mom. And he said, yo, I'm keeping Benjamin back because I ain't going through all of that again. So he kept Benjamin back. Go ahead.
for he said, lest peradventure mischief befall him.
He said, yo, I'm going to keep him back because I don't want no mischief to befall him. Meaning, I don't want nothing to happen to him. Let me just keep Benjamin back, man. I'm already feeling bad about what happened to Joseph because I sent him to the field. Let me keep Benjamin back. Go ahead.
And the son of Israel and the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came. For the famine was in the land of Canaan.
Go ahead.
And Joseph was the governor of the land.
Go ahead.
And he it was oh yeah, I understand. And he it was that sold to all the people of the land.
It was Joseph who was selling the corn, man. Joseph was the governor. And Joseph was what? The man you would go to when you want to buy the corn. Now, let's just say these that killed their brother, man. Sometimes you might harm your brother, not realizing if you spared this brother, man, this brother would have made sure your life changed for the better in the future. But because you killed him, you will never know, man. Now, if they killed Joseph, guess what would have happened? They would have died in a famine, man. They would have killed their brother, and they could have died in a famine, or they would have went to Egypt, and the Egyptians would have dealt with them horribly. Or they went to Egypt, and their brother was the governor, man. And Joseph showed immense brotherhood. Joseph could have said, these niggas tried to kill me, they ain't getting no corn. Joseph could have said, these niggas called me a dreamer of dreams, they ain't getting no corn. I'ma sit back, I'ma watch them die. I'ma watch them die of starvation, man. That's what Joseph could have done. But Joseph showed great brotherhood, man. And that should have burnt them to their soul, man. They should have said, you know what, really we deserve to die. Because we was gonna kill him. And now the tables have turned and it's his chance where he could kill us lawfully with starvation. He refuses to do it, man. Because he's a brother. Meanwhile, we wasn't a brother to him, man. Meanwhile, we wasn't a brother to him. He's showing us what a true brother is. He's showing us what true brotherhood is. And they should have been burnt to their soul, man. That all their evil thoughts and how they hated their brother so much. And Joseph done nothing but love them, man. They didn't even deserve the corn, man, based on their actions. But Joseph was so brotherly, showed such great brotherhood that he gave them corn, man. When he could have said, it's my turn now. I'm going to sit back and watch you starve. Read on.
Salaki, sir. And if they didn't do that to him, they could have get to know that it was going to be 7 years of famine and 7 years of fatness. Exactly. You understand?
They could have prepared, but in their mind, Joseph was just the dreamer of dreams, and they hated him for no reason. Meanwhile, this dreamer of dreams was doing great works in Egypt, man. This dreamer of dreams is the one that let them know about there's a famine coming and so forth. Meanwhile, you were sitting in the land of Canaan thinking you're living life, not knowing there's a famine coming, man. Joseph was in Egypt and he warned them about all of these things, man. He warned them about these things. He was breaking down dreams to them and everything. Meanwhile, the thing is this, while Joseph's breaking down the dreams to his brothers, nobody wants to hear it, man. But who did want to hear Joseph's dreams? The heathens, man. The thing is this, we supposed to listen to one another, man. We supposed to love each other, man. But we don't. We don't love one another. Why? Because we're hard-headed and we don't want to listen. When really, we need to stop being as hard-headed as we are, man. And we need to listen and learn what real brotherhood is, man. And listen to our brothers, man. You see the ISUPK on them street corners. I'm supposed to see black and Hispanics in the crowd listening, man. But instead, who do you have listening? The Edomites. We ain't out there for them. We're out there for you. But black people don't like to listen, man. And this shows because black people didn't like to listen to Joseph's dreams, man. They found him annoying and said, oh, this dreamer of dreams cometh, mocking him. Meanwhile, them Egyptians used Joseph to save themselves, man. They used Joseph so they could find out what was going to happen in the future. Meanwhile, we got the brothers right here giving you the future, and you don't want it, man. You don't want it because you hate black people, man. That's why you don't want it. Meanwhile, you're getting the future, you're getting everything that you need, and you just don't want it when it's right there for you, man. These brothers had access to Joseph, man, and didn't make use of it. If a brother's got a gift, you make use of that brother's gift, man. If they made use of Joseph's gift, chances are they would have knew this famine and all of these things was going to happen, man. But they hated their brother so much, they couldn't see past the hatred. All they could see, we need to throw him in the pit and slay him. That's all they could see. That's all we see is I need to kill him. I need to get him out the picture. Read on.
And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the ground, to the earth.
Oh, Joseph told them that they was going to show obeisance to him. Joseph said, my sheaf is going to be upright and your sheaf is going to be showing obeisance. And now they're doing it and they don't even know. Imagine this. They think Joseph is an Egyptian at this point. They didn't want their brother to rule over them. But in their mind here, they're bowing down to an Egyptian. In their mind, they don't mind bowing down to somebody else. But when it comes to bowing down to a black man, nobody wants to do that. When it comes to respecting a black man, nobody wants to do that. So lucky Ira, you hold that. Quatazar, take me back to Genesis 37 with the sheaf part. Ira, stay where you are. Hold what you're holding. But you take me back to Genesis 37. All right, give me a Genesis 37 and verse 7. And Ira, hold what you're holding. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 37 and verse 7. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright.
So this is Joseph prophesying. This is Joseph telling them of his vision of his dream. There was sheaves in the field. My sheaf stood upright. Go ahead.
And behold, your sheaves stood round about.
And their sheaves stood round about, like how they're standing round about in Egypt right now. Go ahead.
And made obeisance.
And made what?
Obeisance.
And made what?
Obeisance.
Meaning they bowed down and reverenced him. Go ahead.
To my sheaf.
So now Joseph's letting them know, yo, use like basically reverence me. Go ahead.
And his brethren said to him, shalt thou indeed reign over us?
So they said, all right, are you going to reign over us? Go ahead.
Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us?
Or shall you have dominion over us? Are you going to rule over us? Go ahead.
And they hated him.
They hated him. Why? Because black men don't like to be ruled over by other black men, man.
That's right.
A black man would rather be ruled over by an Egyptian. Right. A black man would rather be ruled over by a white man. Ira, take me back to where you are. So now this is when it comes to pass. Go ahead.
Verse 7. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them.
Joseph saw his brethren and he knew them. Go ahead. Actually, give me verse 6. Go back to verse 6.
And Joseph was the governor of the land, and he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down themselves before him with their...
They did what?
They bowed down themselves.
This is the obeisance that Joseph was talking about, man, in his dream. Now they're doing it. The thing is this, they think they're doing this to an Egyptian, which shows that black people would rather bow down before an Egyptian instead of bow down before their brother, man.
That's
because black people don't love black people, man. Right. Because we don't love black people. Whereas you're supposed to be happy to show respect to a black man. All we want to do is disrespect black men and black women. That's all we want to do is disrespect each other. But we want to love everybody else outside of our race, but disrespect each other. That makes no sense, man. Read on.
And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them.
He saw his brethren and he knew them, but he made sure they didn't know this was Joseph. They wasn't aware this was Joseph, man, because this is the last place they're thinking they're going to see Joseph. They're thinking Joseph's somewhere, but we don't know where. Has he been killed? Where's he gone? Because they just left him in the pit, came back, he went in the pit no more. So they ain't got no clue. Always remember this, man. Understand this. Maybe you might have forgot the harm you've done to black people, man. But the person you've done the harm to, they don't forget, man. Listen, they forgot about what? Joseph. Joseph didn't forget about them. Joseph could have seized this moment, man, and said, slaughter every last one of these, like, man. They wouldn't have been what they wouldn't have known what they're being killed for. They would have just thought we came to Egypt and some crazy Egyptians killed us, not realizing they're being killed for what they done previously. But Joseph showed brotherhood and he didn't do that, man. Joseph showed forgiveness. Joseph showed mercy. That's what Joseph showed, man. Because now he had them right where he wanted them. And he showed brotherhood, man. Read on.
And speak rudely unto them. And he say unto them, whence come ye? And they say, from the land of Canaan, to buy food.
Go ahead.
And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew him not, they knew not him.
Go ahead.
And Joseph remembered the dream which he dreamed of them, and say unto them, ye are spies.
So now Joseph's playing these little games with them, saying, use like spies. Use like spies. Now, these Israelites are in a strange land. They're in the land of Egypt now, far away from their land. Go ahead.
To see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they say unto him, nay, my Lord, but to buy food are they servant come.
So now they didn't want to show Joseph no respect and reverence him. Now they're thinking Joseph's an Egyptian man right now, and they're calling him Lord. They acknowledging that the servants. But when it came to a black man saying it, they hated him for saying that they're going to show him obeisance, man. Right. Because black men get no respect in the earth, man. Black people don't respect each other, but then we want to respect Egyptians so much that they're saying, nay, my Lord, but your servants have come to buy food. They're calling themselves servants, but they didn't want to be Joseph's servants. They didn't want to. When Joseph had that dream, they was against it. Read on.
Verse 11. We are all one man's son. We are true men. Thy servants are no spies.
Listen, they said we're all one man's sons. Listen, man. Why didn't they say that when Joseph was there, man? They should have said, we can't harm Joseph because we're all one man's sons. Black men should say, we can't kill black men because we're all one man's sons, man. We all Jacob's sons. This is why black people shouldn't kill black people. We should say we're all one man's sons. Every black man you see, he has the same father as you. So I can say that again, Ira.
I need one. I'll be back in 1 second, sir.
All right, no sir. So we should say we all one man's sons. I can't kill black people. Why? Because we're all one man's sons. That's what we should say. This is what these brothers should have said at the time when they conspired to slay Joseph. They should have said, well, we can't slay him because we're all one man's sons. You can't just use this, we all brothers when it benefits you. You can't just use this, we all black and we should love one another when it benefits you. This should be a thing which we use at all times, man. Not just when it benefits you. At the time when they had the upper hand and they wanted Joseph dead, there wasn't none of this, we all one man's sons. But now, they want to mention it. Pick up that for me, Quatazar. Genesis 42 and 11.
Genesis chapter 42 and verse 11. We are all one man's sons. We are true men. Thy servants are no spies. And he said unto them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said, Thy servants are 12 brethren, the son of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father.
So now they're telling their life story now. Go ahead.
And
Because now they're being accused of being spies. If you know anything about you being a spy in the next man's country, usually they take you to some kind of prison, man. You go to one of them concentration camps where they beat the hell out of you, man. They beat you up and let you sleep on the floor. These like in Egypt, and they know, yo, these ain't our people, man. They know these ain't our people. So they're basically saying, yo, we ain't what you are saying we are. We just come to buy corn. Go ahead.
And Joseph said unto them, That is it, that I spake unto you, saying, Ye are spies.
And Joseph saying, yo, you lot are spies, man. You lot are working with the government, man. You lot are trying to come take the land. Joseph's playing, little games with them. Go ahead.
Hereby ye shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh ye shall not go hence. Salakia, go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither.
So he goes, you know what? You lot ain't going to go except your youngest brother comes. Why? Because their youngest brother was Benjamin, man. The tribe who we come from. Read on.
Send one of you and let him fetch your brother.
So now he goes, one of you go back and fetch your brother. The rest of you is going to stay here. So he kept them there and said, go get your younger brother and come back. If you're not a spy. Go ahead.
And ye shall be kept in prison.
And you shall be what?
And ye shall be kept in prison.
There you go. Because when you go into someone else's land and they think you're a spy, you ain't kept in some nice hotel. You ain't kept in some nice apartment with the balcony and the pool underneath. You're kept in a prison, man.
Right.
And these men was kept in prison. Go ahead.
That your words may be proved.
That your words may be proved. And usually you're kept in prison until they can prove you're not a spy. What verse you at?
Verse 16.
Yeah, go ahead.
Whether there be any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely ye are spies.
Go ahead.
And he said, and he put them all together inward 3
Meaning
days.
in prison, go ahead. For what? He put them in inward for 3 days, man. If you've ever been in a police station, man, you're bored after about half an hour. You go in there, every time you hear the policeman opening the person's cell next door, you're thinking it's your one, man. You're looking up saying, yo, I'm coming out. As soon as you're about to fall asleep, this police officer comes, pulls down the latch. You're thinking, yeah, I'm getting out. And he just looks at you and puts the latch back up. Right. Listen, you spend like 6 hours in the police station and that's torture. So imagine being in there for 3 days, man, with nothing. Listen, man, it's one of the worst things in the world. Read on.
And Joseph said unto them the third day, This do and live, for I fear God.
Go ahead.
If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison.
Go ahead.
Go ye, carry corn for the famine of your house.
So now I said, if you be true men, one of you is going to stay here, and the rest of you go and carry corn back to Canaan for the famine. Go ahead.
But bring your youngest brother unto me, so shall your words be verified.
And Sister Yonakoff said Joseph wanted to make sure his brother Benjamin was alive and that they didn't do him wrong too. Yeah, Khan. So out of all the brothers that was there, one was missing, Benjamin. So Joseph's thinking, well, where's Benjamin? Why is he missing? So that's why he sent them to go and call Benjamin. And him and Benjamin had like a special bond because they both had the same mother, same father and whatnot. So if anything, them two was tight. And obviously he ain't seen his brother for all them years that he was in Egypt. So he's thinking, where is he? Go and get him. Let me see if he's well. So Joseph, because he doesn't want them to know that he's Joseph, he's saying, well, if you got another brother, go and get him. Because he can't just outright say, where's Benjamin? Because they're going to be like, how do you know about Benjamin? So he has to play it cool, right, and then find another way around it to confuse them and be like, well, if you got another brother, bring him and let me see. Because if he was just outright say, yo, where's Benjamin? They would be like, well, how do you know? That would spook them. They'd be like, huh? Well, how do you know? Right. So Joseph had to play it smart, use it as spies. If you're not a spy, go and get what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Therein Benjamin was born after he was sold.
I'm sure Benjamin was born. And Benjamin was young at that time. I'm sure Benjamin was around at that time, but it was young.
When he was sold?
So like you say that again.
When Joseph was sold,
Yeah,
was
sure.
Benjamin already born?
Yeah, I believe Benjamin was already born. Hold on, let me find it. Because the time Benjamin was born.
I was trying to find it and I couldn't. That's why I asked you.
Because the time when Benjamin was born is the time when his mother died in childbirth.
Yes, Raquel died at his birth.
Yeah, so his mother died in childbirth. So hold on.
And they was going to call him the kid of unhappiness, but he turned into kid of the happy.
So Benjamin was born. You know why? Because Benjamin was born in about Genesis the 35th chapter, and Joseph got sold in Genesis the 37th chapter. So Benjamin was born at the time when Joseph was sold into Egypt. Right. So Benjamin was already born at that time. So Benjamin was.
Thanks for that, sir.
So like you say that again.
I say thanks for that, sir.
Yeah, no sir. So Benjamin was born in Genesis 35. Joseph got sold in Genesis 37 or 38. So Benjamin would have just been young at the time. So he would have been young, and that's why he wouldn't have went out to the field with them. Because obviously at this time, Joseph was about 17. Benjamin would have been young, so he didn't go out to the field with them. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
And ye shall not die, and they did so.
And he goes, go get your brother, and no, go take the corn, and one of you stay here. Because obviously, if he lets all of them go, what are they going to do? They're not going to come back. So to show that they're going to come back, they had to leave one of them. Go ahead.
And they said one to another, we are verily guilty concerning our brother.
They said what?
We are verily guilty concerning our brother.
Now they're realizing, now they're thinking all the things they've done wrong in life, because they know the Lord what? Visits for iniquity. They know the Lord visits for transgressions. So now, usually you have to get jammed up before you realize, why am I jammed up now? Is it because I've done A, B, C? Which one of this jam up comes based off me doing one of them things? Now they're realizing their jam ups come based off something they've done. Go ahead.
And that we saw anguish of his soul.
Go ahead.
When he besought us, and we would not hear.
When what?
And when he besought us, and we would not hear.
Now they're realizing, oh, what we done to Joseph. Now they're realizing, man. Read on.
Therefore is this distress come upon us.
Therefore has this distress come upon us. Meaning, even back then, they understood you get punished for your wrongdoings, man. That's what they're basically saying right here. They know for your wrongdoings, there's punishments for it. Go ahead.
And Reuben answered them, saying, spake I not unto you, saying, do not sin against the child.
And now Reuben saying, did I not say to you, like, don't sin against the child? Exactly. Now all of them are trying to pass the blame, and now Reuben saying, did I tell you not to? I tell you, like, don't do this, which lets you know what? One day you might forget everything, man. You might be living your best life, and then what you done 10, 15 years ago comes upon you, man. The consequences then come.
Right.
When you forgot about what you've done, and then you start to remember. And now Reuben's like, didn't I not tell you like not to do this? Listen, man. Read on.
And ye would not hear.
And what?
And ye would not hear.
Now Reuben's saying, listen, I told you. Reuben's trying to wash his hands of the situation. Like, I told you like not to do it, and you like wouldn't listen. Because that's black people feel, man. Hard of hearing. We only realize we've done wrong when these things come upon us, man. When distress and anguish comes upon us, then we realize, all right, then this is for the sins we've done. Go ahead.
Therefore, behold, also his blood is required.
Therefore, what?
Behold, all his blood, also his blood is required.
Listen, man. For the wrong you done to Joseph, man, he's saying, yo, blood is required, man. Meaning what? Something has to happen. We have to get some kind of punishment for how we dealt with our brother, man. Because why? Our brother was righteous, and all he wanted to do was come out to the field and we despise to slay, and we slay them, man, for no reason at all. And there's one who gets vengeance, man, and that's the Lord. And now they're realizing
right.
this. They're realizing this when they're in Egypt, sitting in a prison for 3 days, man. It took them sitting in an Egyptian jail for 3 days to realize what we done was wrong, man. And listen, where do you usually think about your whole life? When you're in jail, man. When you're in jail, that's when you think about your whole life. Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Read on.
And they knew not that Joseph understood them.
And they knew not that Joseph understood them, because they're speaking Hebrew and they think Joseph don't know Hebrew, man. Not realizing Joseph knows Hebrew. So they're speaking in their language. To even disguise it more, Joseph got an Egyptian interpreter, made out like he didn't understand what they were saying. So while they're having their conversation, Joseph understands the whole conversation and they don't even know it, man.
Right.
They're talking
Play
about
on,
Joseph
player.
right there. They're talking about Joseph, our brother, this and that, and Joseph's right there, man. And they don't know this is Joseph. Read on.
For he spake unto them by an interpreter.
Because he what?
For he spake unto them by an interpreter.
He spake unto them with an interpreter. Why? Because the Egyptians were speaking their language and we were speaking Hebrew, man. Right. And Joseph, being in Egypt for so long, obviously learned the language. Because once you live a place, you learn the lingo and you learn the language. But Joseph still knew his Hebrew, man. So Joseph made out to them he don't know Hebrew and used the interpreter to make it more realistic. Read on.
And he turned himself from them and wept.
And what?
And wept.
And he turned away from them and wept, man. Because his Joseph is happy that he's seeing his brothers, but he's weeping like, damn. Look, these niggas is saying A, B, C, D. And finally, my brothers have found me. And at this moment, they ain't aware that he's their brother, man. Joseph turned around and wept, man. Read on.
And returned to them again and communed with them.
He wiped them tears and turned to them again and communed with them. Go ahead.
And took from them Simeon and bound him before their eyes.
Go ahead.
Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn and to restore every man's money into his sack.
And now, this is brotherhood, man. Joseph gave them the corn for free and gave them the money also. He filled their sacks with corn. He gave them they came to pay for it. He gave them back the money, man, and filled their sacks with corn. That's brotherhood, man. Meaning the issues that they had with Joseph didn't feel that same way towards them. Joseph loved them, man, so much that he gave them the corn for free because he gave them their money back, man. That's brotherhood, man. That's brotherhood right there. He done that for free for them, man. Right. Meanwhile, they hated him and wanted to slay him. Right. And Joseph showed great brotherhood, man. That's right. By giving them corn and giving them their money back, man. Read on.
And to give them provision for the way, and thus.
And gave them more for the way. Go ahead.
And thus did he unto them.
Go ahead.
And they laded their asses with the corn.
And now their donkeys, so they put the corn and all these things on their donkeys to head back to the land of Canaan. Go ahead.
And departed thence. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender in the inn, he espied his money, for behold, it was in his sack's mouth. So now he's opened his wallet and he's seen the money still in there. He's thinking, oh my God, have I robbed him? Simeon still never robbed him because his money's still in the sack. Go ahead. And he said unto his brethren, my money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them.
Go ahead. I'm trying to get through this rapid. Go ahead.
Saying one to another, what is this God have done unto us?
What verse are you at?
Verse 29.
So you Genesis 42.
Yeah.
42 and verse 29. Hold on, let me see if I can skip some of this. Yeah, go ahead.
And they came unto Jacob their father unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them, saying, the man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. And we said unto him, we are true men, we are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father, one is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the Lord of the country, said unto us, hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your households.
Go ahead.
And be gone. and bring your youngest brother unto me. Then shall I know that ye are no spies.
And he said, bring your youngest brother, because he wanted to see how Benjamin's doing, man. He's seen all his other brothers, but he can't see Benjamin. So he said, bring your youngest brother. Go ahead.
But that ye are true men, so will I deliver you your brother.
Yeah, what verse you at?
Verse 34.
Yeah, go ahead.
And ye shall traffic in the land. And it came to pass, as they emptied their sacks, that behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack.
So now every man's bundle of money was in his sack. Why? Because Joseph restored their money to them. Brotherhood. He gave them the corn. That Egyptian corn, he took from the Egyptians and gave it to his brothers, man. That's what you have to do. If you're a business owner, hire your brothers, man.
Right.
If you're giving out pay rises at this business, give your brothers a pay rise, man. Because everybody else does it. Do you think the Asian man works hard in the job? No. He's related to the manager, and the manager shows him brotherhood by giving him a pay rise.
Right.
Meanwhile, you're black and you work for the company and you do all the work and you get no pay rise.
That's
Why?
right.
Based on your nationality.
Right.
Joseph treated his brothers good based on their nationality, based on them being his brothers. He understood the Egyptians wasn't his brothers, man. So he only treated his brothers good. Not meaning he disrespected everyone else by how he spoke with them, but I'm just on about in terms of giving them their money back, giving them little benefits. Why? Because they're his brothers, man. Help your brothers out where you can. Because this is all we got. This is all we got, man. Read on.
And when both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob their father said unto them, Me have ye bereaved of my children? Joseph is not, and Simeon is
And
not.
now he goes, yo, Joseph's not, and Simeon's not. Why? Because Simeon was still in Egypt, man. Because they left Simeon there, and they came back to get Benjamin and go back. But now they've came back with all their money and all the corn. So now Jacob's seeing this. Hold on, you robbed the Egyptians. Meanwhile, Simeon's still in Egypt. And now you want to take Benjamin to Egypt. In Jacob's mind is thinking, you're trying to make me lose 3 sons. So I've lost Joseph. Now I'm going to lose Simeon because you robbed the Egyptians and Simeon's still in Egypt. And now you want to take Benjamin to Egypt for them to take Benjamin as well. Jacob's thinking, I ain't taking that risk.
Man.
Jacob's thinking, I ain't taking that risk. Go ahead.
And ye will take Benjamin away.
And you will take Benjamin away also. Listen, man, as a father, you would say no chance. You would say that ain't happening, man. Go ahead.
All these things are against me. And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, Slay my 2 sons, if I bring him not to thee.
And he goes, slay my 2 sons, if I bring him not to thee. Meaning Reuben saying, kill my 2 sons, man, if I bring him not to thee. But the mad thing about this is, what's Reuben's 2 sons got to do? Imagine being too innocent. Imagine your father says, yeah, if I don't do this, slay my 2 sons. But Reuben was sure that he was going to complete the mission. That's why he said it. Meaning what? He's saying, yo, my 2 sons mean the most to me. So I'm going to give you what means most to me if I don't accomplish what I say I'm going to do. So that's why he said, slay my 2 sons. Because how much he loves his 2 sons, how much Jacob would know Reuben loves his 2 sons is they probably mean the world to him. So if he's willing to give up his 2 sons, that means this man must be serious about what he's going to do. So people usually offer what they love the most. So that's why he said, slay my 2 sons. Why? Because that's the most important thing to him. Go ahead.
Deliver him into thy hand.
Go ahead.
And I will bring him to thee again.
And it goes, deliver him into my hand, and I'll bring him to thee again. Go ahead.
And he said, my son shall not go down with you.
And he said, my son ain't going down with you. Why? Because he's already lost Joseph. Simeon's in Egypt. And he's like, this ain't making no sense to me, man.
Right.
Go ahead.
For his brother is dead, and he is left alone.
For his brother is dead, and he is left alone. Go ahead.
If mischief before him by the way in which ye go.
What verse you at?
Verse 38.
Yeah, go ahead.
38.
Then shall you bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave.
Meaning what? If you take Benjamin and something happens to Benjamin, I'm gonna go down to the grave, man. I'm gonna die before I'm supposed to, man. Imagine that. I've already done mourning. Simeon's in Egypt now, and you're gonna take Benjamin also to put me in more mourning. Jacob weren't trying to hear it, man. Give me Genesis chapter 44 and verse 1. Let's skip a chapter.
Genesis. You want to read it?
Yeah, Ira, give me Genesis chapter 44 and verse 1.
Thanks, I got it.
I got
This
to
is
chop
the
up
book of.
for time's sake. Go ahead.
So like you said?
Now I was saying I got to chop up the story for time's sake. So,
Right.
we got to skip a chapter. Give me Genesis 44 and 1.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 44 and verse 1. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, fill the man's sack with food, as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack mouth.
So now Joseph was showing them brotherhood again, giving them the corn, giving them all their money back, saying fill it up, man, saying top it all the way up. Go ahead.
So like I said, at this point they bring Benjamin back already.
I don't, hold on. Nah, they ain't brought him there yet. So they've gone back, and then they
Now
bring
they
him back.
telling the story to the father.
So it's like, yeah. This is no. This is when they bring him there. So now later on in this chapter, you're gonna read that Joseph places a cup in the man's bag, and he puts the cup in Benjamin's bag. So this is later on in the chapter, in about verse 12, you'll find that Benjamin's there. So Joseph does
Yeah, they brought him back already, no?
Yeah. So they bring him back, and then they says, "Yo, where's my cup gun? Where's this golden cup gun?"
Yes,
And then one of them put it in Benjamin's bag.
Yeah, he set him up again,
Yeah. And then the brothers is looking around like, "Oh my God, Benjamin, you got the man's cup. We're gonna die now." But yeah, we're gonna read it. We'll get to it. So
right. Verse 2. And put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack mouth of the youngest.
So now Benjamin's here now. So now they brought Benjamin to Egypt. And Joseph saying, fill their bag with corn, but put my silver cup in the youngest one's bag. Go ahead. Obviously, back then, this is a time where black people didn't steal, but now the cup could have been in anyone's bag if this was nowadays, because niggas steal anything nowadays. But back then, this was a time when stealing was wrong and no one did it. So to steal a man's goods back then was a no-no. Nowadays, your iPhone would be found in everyone's bag. Nowadays, you send 12 niggas to go get corn now, they're going to rob everything else. They're going to steal a car on the way, a phone on the way. They're going to steal everything on the way because we've lost our rightful way of life. Read on.
And he did according to the word of Joseph had spoken.
Go ahead.
As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, they and their asses. And when they were gone out of the city, and not yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, up, follow after the men.
But after
and
they
when
got the
thou
corn,
dost,
Joseph said to his stewards, yo, follow after the men, because now these lot was getting ready to leave, go back to Canaan. He sent his stewards, yo, follow them, men. Go ahead.
And when they were gone, saying unto them, wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good?
He said, wherefore have you rewarded evil for good? Meaning, I've done good. I've gave you corn. I've taken care of you. And you've rewarded me evil. And guess what? They actually did reward Joseph evil for good. Joseph was nothing but good to these brothers, man. Like at the time when Joseph was telling them about his dreams, Joseph was nothing but good to these brothers. So now what Joseph's teaching right here is a brotherhood lesson, man. Don't ever reward evil for good. Imagine Joseph's telling these brothers about his dreams. You know, he wants to be with his brothers, and they're conspiring to kill him. They rewarded Joseph evil for good when they threw him in the pit, and when they was going to slay him. So now what Joseph's doing right here, he's teaching them a lesson, man. He's teaching them a lesson, man. Don't reward evil for good. Go ahead.
Verse 5. Is not this it in which my Lord drinketh? And verily, indeed, he divineth. Ye have done evil in so doing.
And he goes, you've done evil in so doing, man, because you stole my cup. Read on.
Verse 6. And he overtook them, and he spake unto them these words. And they say unto him, Wherefore saith my Lord these words, God forbid that thy servant shall do according to this thing.
Go ahead.
Salakia. Behold, the money which we found in our sacks mouth, we brought again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then shall we steal out of thy Lord's house silver or gold?
So now they're justifying, but we brought the money back, which you left in our sacks. They're saying, why would we steal out of your house? They're saying we're not thieves, man. Go ahead.
Verse 9, with whomsoever of thy servant it be found, both let him die. And we also will be my Lord's bondmen.
So they said, whatever's been stolen, whoever it be found on, let him die, and we'll be his slaves. But they don't know that Joseph put the cup in Benjamin's bag, man. So they're thinking none of us is thieves here. They're thinking none of us is thieves here, man. And what they said, who it be found with, let him die, and we'll be their bondsmen. You know why? Because they're brothers and they know each other, man. And they're like, none of us are thieves. So in the ISUPK, I should be able to say, you know what? That cup is going to be found on none of these brothers in here, man. Because we all labor together and we know one another. Out there in the world, you'd be looking around thinking, I can't make this statement because I'm rolling with some thieves. I can't make this statement. Why? Because I'm hanging around with criminals. But they're brothers that know each other. So they're saying, yo, none of us would steal. So there's no way this cup is on any of us. So we can make a bold statement like this, that whoever it's found with, let him die, and we will be a bondman. Now, could you say this about your family in the world? No, you couldn't, man, because you'd be a bondman, because your family in the world is thieves, man. Could you say this about your cousins and your uncles? No, because everyone's got an uncle that robs everything, man. Right. Everyone's got that one uncle that robs everything. You couldn't make this bold statement, man. What we would do right now is just point at who's the biggest thief amongst us, him over there, man. That's what we would do. But these brothers here had an understanding that none of them are thieves, and they labored together so they know one another because they're brothers. So they said none of us is thieves. So that cup won't be found on none of us. So they made a bold statement that what? Whoever the cup's found with, let him die and we will be a bondman. Because in their mind, none of us is gonna have this cup because none of us are thieves. So that's why they made that bold statement. Read on.
Verse 10, and he said, now also let it be according unto your words.
He said, let it be according unto your words, meaning, okay then. That's how strongly you feel. Okay then. Let it be according to your words. Go ahead. Like in here, we say them big words in the ISUPK, man, and we better not let this house down, man. We vouch for this house, man. Right. We'll vouch for this house that there's no brothers in here that do this or do that. We vouch for this house. So we make them strong words also, man. Go ahead.
He which whom it is found shall be my servant, and he shall be blameless.
So he said, whoever it's found with will be my servant. So that would have been Benjamin because it was in his bag. Go ahead.
So you mean we don't have to go extreme like that, but the man who we will find with it, he'll just going to be my servant.
Right. So the man who's found with it is going to be a servant in Egypt. The man who's found with it is going to be coming back to Egypt because he's going to be a servant.
And the rest blameless.
Go ahead.
Verse 11. Then they speedily took down every man's sack to the ground and opened every man his sack. And he searched and began at the eldest and left at the youngest. And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack.
And the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Why? Because he got his steward to pull it in there when he was putting the corn in there. Go ahead.
Now it comes. Then they ran their clothes and laid it every man his ass and returned to the city.
They had to go back to Egypt, man. Go ahead.
And Judah and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there, and they
Go ahead.
fell before him on the ground. And
Go
Joseph
ahead.
said unto
We're
them,
trying to wrap up this in 10 minutes. Go ahead, keep reading because we got to get through this chapter real quick.
What deed is this that ye have done? Would ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine?
Get me? He's dropping little gems in there. I'm a man that can certainly divine. Go ahead.
And Judah said, what shall we say unto my Lord? We shall, uh, what shall we speak? Or how shall we clear ourselves?
Go ahead.
God hath found out that the iniquity of thy servant. Behold, we
Go
are
ahead.
my Lord's servants, both we and he also, which whom the cup is found.
They're just ready to be servants. Go ahead.
And he said, God forbid that I should do so. But the man in whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant.
Joseph said, "Nah, not all of you are going to be my servants. Just who in whose hand the cup is found, and that was Benjamin's." Go ahead.
And as for you, get you up in peace unto your father.
And he said, "You like go back to your father, but Benjamin ain't going nowhere." Go ahead.
Then Judah came near unto him and said, O my Lord, let thy servant, I pray thee, speak a word in my Lord's ear, and let not thine anger burn against thy servant. For thou art cause for thou art uh, for
Now,
thou art even as Pharaoh.
go ahead. We gotta try to
Verse
get through.
19, my Lord asked his servant, saying, have ye a father or brother?
Go ahead.
And we say unto my Lord, we have a father, an old man, and a child of his old age, a little one, and his brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother, and his father loved him.
So now they're trying to say to Joseph, "You can't take Benjamin because why? His father loves him." Listen, man. They was about to take Joseph even though his father loved him, man. When you read earlier on, he said Jacob loved Joseph, he was his favorite child, but they still wanted to take Joseph, man. But now the tables have turned. They don't want Joseph to take Benjamin. Why? Because his father loves him. How come they didn't care what Jacob wanted in the beginning, man? They didn't care that Jacob loved Joseph in the beginning, but now they care when they're going to take Benjamin. Meaning what? So when you want to do someone harm, it's okay that their father loves them, but when someone else wants to do the harm, then it's an issue. Listen, man, we can't have these double standards, man. And that was a double standard because when you read it, it said what? That Jacob loved Joseph. These like didn't care. These like hated Joseph. These like hated Joseph what? Because his father loved him. And now Jacob loves Benjamin. Now they want to save Benjamin, and the Egyptians can't take him. In their mind, they thought those Egyptians, but this was Joseph pretending to be an Egyptian. Go ahead.
Verse 21, and thou said unto thy servant, bring him down unto me, that I may set mine eyes upon him. And when we said unto my Lord, the lad cannot leave his father, for if he shall leave his father would die.
Go ahead.
Select your food. Verse 23, and thou said unto thy servant, except your youngest brother came down with you, ye shall see mine face no more. And it came to pass when we came up unto thy servant my father, we told
Hold on.
him.
I'm gonna have to skip some for time's sake because we got 5 minutes left. Give me 1 second.
Canada one council.
What verse you at?
24.
You know what? We're not gonna get through it today. Yeah, just keep reading. We're gonna do the yeah. Keep reading. Actually, then again, what verse are you at?
24.
So yeah, Genesis chapter 44 and verse 24.
Right, sir.
Yeah, we're not gonna get through. All right. Keep reading. We'll finish this
Canada
chapter.
on can.
We'll finish this chapter and then we'll do part 2 next week because we're definitely not gonna get through.
And it came to pass when we came up unto thy servant my father, we told him the words of my Lord.
Go ahead.
And our father said, Go again and buy us a little food. And we said, We cannot go down if our youngest brother be with,
So now they came
be
back to their
with
father.
us.
They came back to their father, and then they're running back the story to Joseph that obviously we said to our father, we can't go buy more corn unless our youngest brother's with us. Our father said not first. He trusted us that we're going to bring him back, and now this has happened. He's got the cup. Read on.
And thy servant my father say unto us, Ye know that my wife bare me 2 sons, and the one went out from me. And I said, Surely he is torn in pieces. And I saw him not since. And if ye take this also from me, and mischief befall him.
Now they're telling the story of what their father said. My son went out from me, he was torn in pieces. And if you take this one also, which is Benjamin, the youngest son, go ahead.
And mischief befall him, ye shall bring down my gray hair with sorrow to the grave.
Meaning what, man? You are gonna make me die quick, man. My son don't come back. If I lose 2 sons, I'm gonna go down to the grave years before I'm supposed to. Go ahead.
Verse 30. Now therefore, when I come to thy servant, my father, and the lad be not with us, seeing that his life is bound up in the lad's life.
Meaning what? This is my father's life, man. My father's only here. Why? Because of this son, man. If he loses this son, there's going to be no more life left in him, man. He's going to die of a broken heart. Go ahead.
For thy servant become surety for the lad unto my father, saying, If I bring not unto thee, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever. Now,
so he said,
therefore,
I became surety, meaning I said, if I don't bring this son back, put the blame on me, man. Blame me. So I said, I'll take the blame. I'll become surety, meaning take me instead of him, man. That's brotherhood, man. Now he's showing brotherhood, meaning what? Christ said what? You know what? Hold that. Give me John.
give me John. In the pound house.
So like you say that again.
I say he was saying that he has 2 kids in the pounded.
So now he said, I'm a surety for this brother, man. Take me instead of him. So give me John chapter 15 and verse 13.
This is John chapter 15 and verse 13. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friend.
He was willing to lay down his life for his brother, man. He was willing to lay down his life for his brother. He said, I'm a surety for him, meaning let him go and take me instead. That's brotherhood, man. Whereas everybody else would do what? Run away and just leave you there. Some of these people that you call friends would run for the hills and leave you there. Now they're starting to show brotherhood, man. Now they're understanding what brotherhood is. Because he said, you know what? I'm a surety for him. Leave him and take me. Read on Ira. Let's finish this chapter, then we can close out.
Another one can. Verse 33. Now therefore I pray thee, let thy servant abide instead of the lad.
He said, let me abide instead of the lad, meaning let Benjamin go. I'll do this. I'll be the servant. Brotherhood right there, man. Go ahead.
a bondman to my lord, and let the lad go up with his brethren.
Go ahead.
For how shall I go up to my father, and the lad be not with me?
Go ahead.
Lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my father.
So he said, lest to see the evil that shall come on my father. He's saying, you know what? Let me stay in Egypt and let Benjamin go. Because I don't want to see what's going to become on my father if we come back without Benjamin. The evil that's going to come on my father. This man's going to drop dead from heartbreak, heart attack, all of them kind of things. Why? Because this will be his son that he sent into Egypt with us. And he's came back out of, we've came out of Egypt and we've left him in Egypt as a bondman. He said, I can't have that, man. I don't want it. I can't face my father like that. So this is what happens. You keep me in Egypt and you let him go, man. Let him go and live his life while I sit in an Egyptian prison and be a servant, man. With that, clap it up. We'll be here tomorrow with Captain Parasha, 7 p.m. till 9. We're gonna do part 2 next week. Obviously, we didn't get halfway through, so next week we'll start off in the book of Genesis, chapter 45. So we're gonna do the security announcements, and we're out of here.
This is the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started off 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Johanna. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21. Malachi chapter 3 verses 8 to 10 means 10th in Hebrew, Ma'ashara, 10% of any penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to Treasury Department of teacher. Priest fund, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations.
Feast of Purim, February 14th and 15th, which lands on a Monday and Tuesday. Come on down, 394 Lodge Road, B18 5PW, man. Come on down. We're going to have a ball of a time. All the brothers, all the sisters, the brothers from over cities, the sisters from over cities. Come on down, man. 2-day feast. We're going to have a ball of a time. Go ahead.
All Akim and Akoff are to check the bulletin board in the hallway and to check all ISUPK social media. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. To that, say Amadium. Amadium Shabbat. Amadium Barak. Yahaba Shimya Shai Brakatha. Yajamata. Class dismissed.
All right, Shalom Israel will be here tomorrow, 7 p.m. with Captain Parasha. All right, for what the Ira, for what for the reading. Shalom Yom Shabbat.
Shalom.